Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the search is on for a suspect after a Christmas weekend shooting in southern Kentucky. And the Pikeville YMCA is gearing up for one of its busiest times of the year.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. We're coming up on 5 a.m. on Wednesday, December 27th. Now let's check in with meteorologist Shane Smith for a look at your forecast this morning. Good morning, Shane. I hope that you had a great Christmas.
Oh, I did, Olivia. Thank you very much. I hope you had a good one as well. And the weather was definitely a bit soggy during the Christmas holiday here in eastern Kentucky. And we've got a little bit more rain to deal with this morning. Let's check out what's going on right now on the satellite and radar picture. You can see a few lingering showers off and on throughout the region this morning. Light rain from London through Hazard, Pikeville. And that is going to continue for the next couple hours. Pinpoint Doppler showing none of it really too heavy. Except up near Louisa, there is a few showers there just east of Highway 52. That's a little bit on the heavier side for our friends up in West Virginia. 45 right now in Hazard. You can see the roads are wet on US 119 over in Jenkins. Also some wet roadways on I-75 in Mount Vernon. Temperatures generally in the 40s and 50s, but you notice colder air just off to our west. It is actually a cold front which is driving the showers this morning, factoring in the wind, feeling just a skosh cooler in a few spots. You'll want that umbrella for one more day as we do have a few early showers to contend with. I think by lunchtime, most of the rain will be out of the region. However, in its wake, some cooler weather is moving in. We'll talk about that in more detail coming up here in just a few minutes, Olivia.
All right, Shane, thank you. Police are still searching for a suspect after a Christmas weekend shooting in southern Kentucky. It happened in Knox County Saturday morning. Police say they are looking for Donald Napier, who will face assault charges. Police say Napier shot a couple as they were driving. Officers say they responded and found the car in a ditch. Police recovered the suspect's car in Richmond, but they say he is still on the run.
We believe this is an isolated incident. We don't feel that anyone in the community is in danger. However, we do know that a shooting has taken place, and it's a very serious crime.
Police tell us the two people who were shot are expected to be okay. We have an update on the health of Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman. In a statement, Coleman says her post-surgery reports came back clean. The Lieutenant Governor underwent a double mastectomy last week after a recent exam. Coleman says early detection and prevention were key for her. She also reminded Kentuckians to schedule those preventative screenings. In less than a week, the Kentucky legislature begins its 2024 session, and it will no doubt be a busy one. During the 60-day session that will stretch into April, lawmakers are required to pass a 2-year state budget. Governor Andy Beshear is pressing lawmakers to spend money for teachers' raises, universal pre-kindergarten, and some other initiatives. It's not clear yet how the Republican legislature will approach spending. Once again, there's a huge budget surplus, but it did not come in a pattern that would trigger a further reduction in the state income tax. Still, some expect the income tax reduction to be discussed. It will be the last session for several high-profile lawmakers who have announced they are not running again, including longtime Republican Majority Floor Leader Damon Thayer. Kentucky Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles is about to begin his new duties as president of the Kentucky Community and Technical College System. It comes after a stint in the legislature, 2 terms as ag commissioner, and a second-place finish in this year's GOP primary race for governor. Quarles is excited for the opportunity, recently telling the Herald Leader that KCTCS is the most impactful higher education entity in Kentucky. Quarles begins his duties next week. The holiday shopping season has shifted from buying gifts to returning things. And when returning items, it's important to read the fine print. Every store has its own return policy, and the best course of action is to check the store's website. If it is a local store, you can give them a call and see what their return policy is. When you get ready to return your item, you need to have a receipt and also a form of identification. It is also important to know if the item can be returned, as some retailers may not accept returns on open box items, perishable items, and gift cards. If you plan on returning something, keep the tags on it. You also need to know how long you have to return the items, as some stores have different deadlines during the holiday season.
It's just trying to keep in touch with like the deadlines, making sure it's 30 days or 45 days or what the extended Christmas deadline is. If possible, I try to mail my returns back if they'll let me, if it's free.
It is always a good idea to ask for a gift receipt when you're buying gifts to save the person receiving the gift a headache if they choose to return it. With the Christmas season in the rear view, some people are looking ahead to their New Year's resolutions. The Pikeville area YMCA is preparing for its busiest time of year, giving folks a platform for their health, wellness, and hobbies. From fitness to focus, officials say the Y is working to provide a space for all, with expanding programs, growing facilities, and more.
And the Y is a really good place to start those New Year's resolutions. And something we always tell everybody is like, you're fine the way you are, but if you want to come up here and do a little extra work, you can.
Executive Director Clifton Hatfield says the Y has a little something for everyone. Folks living in the Richmond area will need to be a little quieter earlier. The Richmond City Commission has amended its noise ordinance, moving it up to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. Previously, the noise ordinance was enforced after 10 p.m. The unanimous vote for the earlier rules comes after complaints about student parties near EKU. The city also made some tighter parking rules in a neighborhood off Lancaster Avenue. New laws related to electric and hybrid vehicles take effect on New Year's Day. Owners of the vehicles will have to pay new fees for registering or charging up at public stations. It's part of House Bill 360 passed in the 2023 legislative session. The fees go into the state's road fund. Thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Coming up, Hollywood's biggest names and brightest stars descend on the nation's capital to honor legends in the arts tonight at the 46th Annual Kennedy Center Honors.
And we've got a few showers we're dealing with across the region this morning, but the rain's not going to last too long. Details in the forecast after this.